Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gamer Social Club Weekly News Podcast. We are recording on Thursday, the 9th of April, 2026, and we are going to be picking our favorite games from the III Initiative Showcase that happened earlier today. So you can look forward to all of that. But before we get to that, of course, I'm your host, as always, Harry Glyn Jones, aka the Knavish Crayfish. And with me on a duo run, I have no MC, only daggers. It's Lady V. How are you doing, V?
I'm good, thank you. There's so much on. There's too much on, potentially. You know,
Potential.
we're
There is,
incredibly busy,
yes,
and I'm very tired.
yes. Well, yeah, especially whenever there's a showcase, if there's one thing that we're good at, we do a regular rundown of everything that was shown there, and then we love to try and highlight a bunch of different games from it. So if you are someone who follows us regularly, you will know that already. But yeah, we of course try and do our best to cover these sort of things. But yeah, we will get into all of that. Before, of course, we do, though, there is the rigmarole, as always. We are just a couple of the members of the Gamer Social Club, a website covering video game news, reviews, previews, interviews, editorials, guides, and anything else we can think of, including the demo disc, our monthly article, which brings you over a dozen demos to check out, just like the demo discs of yore. But if you want any of that sort of content, please go check that out over at gamersocialclub.ca. The four things you need to know about us. This is a recent addition. There's been
We
a
have
recent addition to
updated
the
our
three.
pillars.
We've updated our pillars since last time.
We
Sean was
had
on
a
with us.
strategy day. No,
Yeah, it
we
was.
did not have a strategy.
Yeah, there was a big discussion about this. No, not at all. It happened on the spot, and it's in stone now. But starting at the top, of course, we are a grassroots independent outlet. We have no higher ups to answer to. So you know that everything is built upon our own passion and love of video games, and want to share that with all of you. Number two, we finish every game that we review. We will roll credits on a video game if we can. If it does not have credits, because it's one of those games like a sports title or a racing game, then we will play as much of it as humanly possible before we share our thoughts, our opinions, and our scores with all of you. Third is that we run all of our news through a rumor-free filter. So every piece of news you get through us, you can know to be factually true at the time of reporting. We don't go through the social media hearsay or the Reddit rumor mill. We only go from sources that we think are trustworthy and credible, and we try and keep all of our news up to date and correct it as best we can as we go forward. And of course, the new fourth pillar is that we do not write using AI. We didn't start writing with using AI, and we will never write with AI. We got our Metacritic accreditation and our OpenCritic accreditation without having to do so, and we're proud of that. And that is something that you can guarantee from us ad infinitum here at the Gamer Social Club. Of course, if you even want more Gamer Social Club stuff, come and join the Gamer Social Club Discord where you can hang out. We have community game nights. We do giveaways every now and then when we can. And it's just fun to just chat with all of you about whatever games you're playing and all that sort of stuff. And then you can follow us over on all the social channels. You've got us over on Twitter/X at gamer and _S_C. And everywhere else, just search up Gamer Social Club on Threads, Blue Sky, wherever. All of this, of course, is in the links below alongside our own personal social medias if you'd like to follow us there. Any articles that we highlight that we feel like are worth reading or checking out will be down below. And yeah, so if you want any more of that stuff, check down there. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave a like. If you have anything you'd like to share with us, any questions about today's episode, any positive, any sort of constructive feedback, anything like that, or whatever, drop it in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more content like the Gamer Social Club Weekly News Podcast and its sister show, the Girl Pod, of which V is one of the hostesses, sorry, then yeah, consider subscribing to the channel. With that out the way, we now get into what is our one and only topic of the show. Oh no, not even that. Sorry, what am I saying? We get into what we have been playing. Our
Are we
first
not going to
segment.
talk about what
You're
we've been
right.
playing?
I'm so excited. There's so many games to get to. But there is such that showcase was about 40 odd games, and just between the two of us, we picked out like a dozen games to mention in our highlights. And we said we were going to do this as a short episode. So yes, we're going to talk about what we have been playing, and I feel it's only fair that you start us off on that, please.
Yeah, so I've been playing, well, obviously more Slay the Spire 2 because I have an
Naturally.
obsession with Slay the Spire 2, but we don't need to talk about that anymore. Candy and I spoke about it quite a lot on the Girl Pod episode that we recorded yesterday. So you can tune into that on Monday if you want to hear all of our thoughts on Slay the Spire 2. But no, going along with the fact that I seem to just enjoy the weirdest roguelikes available, I have been playing a game that I got in the Steam spring sale called Type Inc.
Okay.
Where you're like a little intern at a company. It's a deck building roguelike. I love a deck building roguelike.
Not even going to try and hide that detail. We're just going to get out of the way.
We get it out of the way. It's a deck building roguelike, but you build your deck. It's a bit more like Balatro-esque in the fact that you're not playing cards. They're like perks that go alongside what you're doing. And what you're doing is that you are typing up passages from classic literature to get a score to pass so you can get through to your next day of your job of typing up more passages from classic literature. So yeah, it's almost like a way to help you learn how to touch type, I suppose, because you get bonuses for typing quickly, but you also lose bonuses for making mistakes. And the thing that I have realized from playing it, which is probably terrible considering I am a reviews editor, is that my grammar is atrocious.
It's like held a mirror up to you, like, oh, I don't like it. No.
So I love a comma. I love a comma.
I love a run-on sentence.
I don't love a run-on sentence.
That's
okay. Like, you love a run-on sentence.
Well,
I've edited your reviews. You love a run-on sentence. I'm like, we could have put something in here. But I am a big fan of a comma, and I know that I'm a guilty of a comma splice because I did advanced higher English at high school, and the feedback from my English teacher was like, why is this comma here? A lot.
You don't need to do that.
What do you mean? What is this comma doing here? I'm like, I don't know. It just seemed like a place to put a comma, I guess.
They feel good to use. They just seem to make things easier. They make things well.
I think someone once told me it's like you would put a comma like naturally where you would take a breath while you were saying something, which is incorrect. But that is now where I put commas. I'm just like, and apparently I read a lot. I'm like, it's just commas everywhere. But hopefully from playing typing, it will be improving my grammar as you're typing stuff out from like Wuthering Heights or 1984. Some Gulliver's Travels, which I'm intimately familiar with, is what I did my dissertation on for my, the works of Jonathan Swift for my advanced higher English dissertation. But yeah, it's super fun. It's definitely not for everyone. It's absolutely not for everyone. If you want a game that has like maybe a story or gameplay that's not typing, it's classic literature, you're not gonna enjoy it. Number does go up, but there is like a sense of satisfaction from typing out like a paragraph without making any mistakes at a very high sort of words per minute. You can be like, yeah, like I'm getting better. I'm in the flow. Like
I love it, and I know that, as you said, it's got that roguelike deck building element to it, so run based and all that sort of stuff. So I understand there are like other mechanics that kind of like the structure of the game at play.
Yeah.
But it's always really interesting how now in the year 2026 games are being made in such a way that when you hear about them, like how you just described typing to me, I think back to a game that I was playing back at school, which they had on our school computers to help teach touch typing and stuff to younger kids. I don't know if it's a universal program that was, software that was everywhere. I don't know if it was one that was pushed by Windows and stuff like that, but I know it was a pretty big one here in the UK, at least, called Mavis Beacon, I think it was called. And one of the games that was on it, at least, was one where you just had like it was a first-person view of you sitting driving a car. So you had the road in front of you, and it was really, really old-fashioned, like paint-like graphics, literally like drawn with paint, really bright colors and stuff like that. You were sitting in the driver's seat, and a line of text was at the bottom of the windshield, and you had to type that text out. And as you typed it out, the speedometer would move up, and you would move faster, and you'd watch his cars slowly went past you, and the landscape would change and stuff like that. And then you could see like your journey happening on the top, if I remember correctly. But then for every mistake you made, a fly or an insect would go and splat on your windscreen and would stay there throughout the entirety of your journey until the very end, and it would track everything at the end, of course. Which then led to the fun game of obviously just laying your hand down across the keyboard and just watching as your windscreen just got slowly filled up with hundreds and hundreds of dead insects to the point where you
I feel
couldn't
like
see in front of you. So
I feel
you
like we
would
have very different like approaches to what we would think was
what
fun
our
in this
reactions were.
scenario. As
How-
someone who hates it when things make mistakes, I'm like, no, absolutely not. No, we're restarting the level until it flies on the windscreen.
No
We're not doing
blemishes.
this.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think that's really interesting how, like, obviously there, as I said, there's more to it, but there is a sense of like we're kind of retroactively ending back at a place where we used to be decades before, similar to how Souls-like games have really brought about the idea of the run, and that feels very close to like what arcade games used to be. Like, oh, you died? We'll go back to the beginning. There's no
yeah,
checkpoints here, pal. And all the points you gathered, they're gone too. Whatever. So
yeah.
I like that. That's really interesting.
I don't know if I like games like this because as a child I played a lot of Neopets. Um,
Oh, how does that relate?
so obviously Neopets, and they did just bring out like a Neopets game collection
They
for like the
did, didn't
PlayStation,
they? Yes.
which I have found out that you can earn Neo points from playing, because actually, as an adult, I still play a lot of Neopets because there's something wrong with my brain.
You need to watch one of the most recent episodes of Pew Pew Bang from MinMax, your All Ladies podcast. They're brilliant, great fun to listen to. If you haven't found them before, check them out. Other people as well. But no, they just did a whole episode talking about like Neopets and everything like that, and then like online games of that sort of nature, like
Yeah.
IMVU and stuff like that. It was really, really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Tamagotchi. I was that kid. I had the Tamagotchi and stuff like that, but I didn't do
Oh
like
yeah.
going as far as like Neopets and stuff like that, sadly.
No, I definitely had a Tamagotchi, but I was super
Yeah.
into Neopets, which obviously it has given me a lot of skills as an adult. Like I'm great at HTML. Like
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
you have to customize your pet page, obviously.
Mm.
But it had just hundreds of Flash games, and a lot of them were word related. And there's one, is it called like Grundle Typing Terror? I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like there's like little mechs with grundles in them, like mechanical grundles. If you've never played Neopets, the word grundle means nothing to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to, in order to destroy them, you have to type the letters above their head. Like, and there's
Okay.
a few other games that are like that, and you have to just type as quickly as you can. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like that little part of my brain that's really into that.
Mm.
Or like there's nostalgia for that that's now like oh yeah, you should play more typing based games. But I do like was it Cryptmaster? I can't remember the name of it actually. It's
Oh,
terrible.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Cryptmaster
Yeah, Chris
is
Master.
another sort
Yeah.
of typing game.
Yeah, Dungeon
I'm a big-
Crawler, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, and you have to type stuff out, but no,
Yeah.
love a little typing game.
Very cool.
I think it also goes into my love of very clicky, clacky mechanical keyboards. There's something very satisfying about typing out a paragraph at like 60 words per minute, which I know is not particularly fast, on your clicky, clacky keyboard in the middle of the day. It's good fun. So yeah, I've been playing Type Inc. And a little bit of Rise of the Golden Idol, but I don't need to go into that too much. If you've played the first one, it's another puzzle game. It's very good. You gather all the clues, and then you have to just figure out where to put the words. I like games with words in it. I'm a big nerd.
The Golden Idol series is one I've been meaning to get into alongside Chance of Sonar and things like that. There's a bunch of those sort of games where I've seen them coming out being like, ooh, it's the Squidward meme of everybody running around playing those games whilst I'm inside playing whatever it is I've decided to play instead, which is probably another great game, but
Yeah.
there we are. But no, I do need to get around to that series as well. But yeah, this last week, 10 days or so, until the launch date, of course, I have been playing a game called House of Hikmah, which actually released yesterday, if I remember correctly, from a studio called Lunacy Studios, if I remember correctly. Yes, Lunacy, Lunacy. And it is a third-person puzzle platformer with very heavy narratively driven game where you play as a young girl, 14-year-old girl called Maya, of sort of Arabic descent. It's set out in the Middle East, and it's heavily influenced and heavily features Islamic and Arabic culture and history, in particular, highlighting some like key figures from again from Islamic and Arabic history, scholars, professors, philosophers, that sort of thing. Because the whole idea is that Maya, after her father has passed away, visits a place called the House of Wisdom, where a bunch of these scholars all reside and study and do stuff. And the House of Wisdom, and her father used to go there to work with them. And when he passed, he left behind a device called the key, which she has on her wrist. She can wear it, but she doesn't know what it does. He didn't tell her what it did, and so she just on a sort of vision that she sees one night of her father saying, "Go to the House of Wisdom." She goes, and she meets all the scholars there and starts visiting their studies in big quotation marks, which are these different parts of what is called the mystic realm. So if you imagine, there's like quite a beautiful kind of clay colored palm trees covered sort of atrium courtyard area that you start in, and where the hub is, as it were. And off of it, there are all these doors that are like portals leading to all their separate rooms. And throughout the game, you are picking up abilities, that this sort of transmutation ability that the relic has, where it allows you certain objects in the environment to change their properties. So you can eventually, by the end of the game, you're able to change between things that to make them ethereal, so you can pass through them. You can change them to be metal, so they become magnetic or heavier. You can change them to be like clay or something like that, just so you can like stand on them and things like that. But then you've also got glass, so you can like refract light. And all of these are then built upon as you go through the different studies, gaining their abilities, and they're all these huge, beautiful, like quite kind of like mind-bending, surreal environments where you'll be inside a giant planetarium in one of them that's floating through space, and in the next one you're like seemingly in like this sort of giant palatial building that's floating, hundreds and hundreds of meters off the ground above like an infinite desert with giant palm trees everywhere. And yeah, each one is beautiful and full of like environmental puzzles involving like changing the weights of objects to platform between different platforms, riding wind tunnels, activating switches and teleporting from one side of platform to another at the right time, all manner of things, all building on each other as you learn new sort of applications of the key. All the while, each of the studies is being invaded by this essence, this sort of force called shadow, basically this dark permeation that's going throughout, seemingly based on everyone's grief, basically on the passing of Abdullah, Maya's father, in particular, of course, her own. And she's been helping other people with her grief, helping all the scholars as they return to the atrium. And then by the end of the game, of course, this has all been about her own journey through grief, which again has been inspired, I believe, by the game creator, the creative director of the game. I think had a family member pass away, and then I read that the music was then done by Austin Wintory, the sort of award-winning composer, because they bonded over this fact that he'd also lost a parent, I think, in the last, quite recently. And so they sort of bonded over that. And thus Austin Wintory worked on the music for the game, all using traditional instruments of the area, of the culture, which is really beautiful. It's excellent voice acting. Really, really impressed with the voice actress for Maya in particular. She just puts on a great performance. And yeah, I was just very caught up in it all. Again, as somebody who has also lost a parent, felt very strongly about Maya's whole journey, related very heavily to her, despite the massive age difference between us of about 20 years or so. It doesn't matter. It's one of those, and it has a very, very beautiful, poignant but powerful message behind it, which I think is one that a lot of people will appreciate, but maybe heard it elsewhere. But I think it's still an important one that is worth hearing, especially if you're going through something like grief, which is just not to let yourself be kind of governed by it, and to you to try and learn to live with it because it is something you can't ever live without it once it's there in your life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. It's moving, and you can clearly tell it's very heartfelt as well. I did a review of it. I think you check it out on the site. Um, and yeah, I implore people to check it out because it's a really, really good game. It's very, very good. A couple of technical issues there and a bit of stuff that can be dealt with in patching and stuff like that, honestly. But otherwise, excellent game. That just seems to have completely flown under the radar. I went and checked. I know it's only been a day. I went and checked to see about reviews. There's only 3 on Metacritic and there's only 2 on OpenCritic, which means that it can't even get a aggregate score going, which is kind of a
Yeah.
shame, And that really is like one of those things that these games genuinely need is that sort
Mhm.
of stuff. And I hope that other outlets and creators and stuff like that will hopefully pick this game up and review it and give it scores and it gets that coverage because it's hard enough as is. Um,
Yeah.
but if your game comes out and then no one's actually covering it, like that's really tough to see. So yeah, hopefully more of coverage for House of Hickman. That would be great. Um, but yeah, with that, now we can move into the main topic, of course, of the show, which is our
More
picks.
games that are coming out.
more,
It's like,
more games that are
more
coming.
game. Like,
Who'd have thought, huh? Um, we are going to doing our picks from the Triple I Initiative showcase that happened earlier today, which is very, very cool. We've covered it, I think, the last 2 years, if I remember correctly. It's always been a
yep.
very good showcase, a very strong showing of indies, in my opinion. You've seen the likes of Slay the Spire and these sort of things
Yes, like the
there.
Spire 2 was revealed as the
Yeah.
opening reveal at the
Hmm.
2024 one, which was
Yep.
obviously the first one we covered because it was the first year we were a site.
Yes.
Um,
And I don't remember what
and I
was the
almost threw
first.
my phone across the bar because I was watching it in a pub, taking notes. And the idea of then completely keeping focus on the rest of the reveals was very difficult because I was like, you can't just show me Slay the Spire 2 and expect me
Yeah.
to think about other things apart from Slay the Spire 2.
I'm intrigued. And what was the opening? Of course it was. Of course it was. They've got a track record. That opening game, it's
Hmm.
always a
Yeah.
biggie because
What was last year's? I can't remember.
Neverway,
Oh, there we go.
which
There
we
we
will
go.
be getting to later.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely a track record that they've got going there where the lead game is a biggie. Because it definitely was the case, I think, for this year. The buzz from the show. There's been a lot of buzz going around from it again from a lot of the different trailers that were shown off. But the opener definitely kind of blew the doors off in a way that I think they hoped it would. Um, with a game called Prove You're Human coming to PC. I'll read the description here. An AI dares to dream she is human. You've been hired to put her in her place. From the creators of the Peabody Award-winning A Thousand Times Resist, published by the creators of Slay the Princess, Prove You're Human is a sci-fi narrative adventure in which you play as Santana and split your consciousness in two. The company behind this program has a chance at achieving true AGI, but there's just one problem. The company's AI, Mesa, is convinced she's a human being. And the trailer will be no doubt playing right now, if I've done my job correctly. And it is a mind-boggling trailer. Uh,
Yeah.
it is just, I mean, I don't even know how to start describing it other than the use of the capture image stuff with your character in first person, putting their hands out in front of them, creating that kind of like, oh, I'm sort of lining up a photo type thing, and then a capture box appears
Yeah. Prove
asking,
that you're a human.
yeah,
Select all the trees.
I love that.
Like,
And
yep.
then it just all of the different sort of imagery we see there. Obviously, there's kind of like a interesting thing going on with the huge face on the end of the machine. Feels very GLaDOS from Portal.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went almost immediately, was that
Mhm.
from seeing that. But yeah, just sort of really, really interesting imagery. And um, as somebody who unfortunately has not played either A Thousand Times Resist yet or Slay the Princess,
Oh, you're
although
missing out. Both
I
fantastic
know.
games.
Again, they're on the same list alongside like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, and just so many mind blowing games that I need to get around to. Um, there's only so much mind that can be blown, you see, in here though. So I have to try and sustain as much as I can. But this is one I'm definitely looking forward to. What did you think, me?
Yeah, I would like. I've not finished A Thousand Times Resist, but I have played a good chunk of it because it was on the wish list for a long time, and I've heard fantastic things, and it is an incredibly great game. Just it has a lot of things to say, and again about sort of the nature of being human and the nature, like human nature in general. And I would highly recommend it to anyone who has not played it. It is one of those experiences in gaming that you come out of it and you completely confirmed that video games are art, and wild that anyone would think they're not. Slay the Princess is also a fantastic title. So given the fact that they're publishing it, they've obviously seen it and thought, yeah, this is a completely different way to tell a story, because again, that's what Slay the Princess and A Thousand Times Resist is really good at. Just like the way that the narrative weaves its way throughout the gameplay is fantastic. So great way to open, as you say, and I think a really interesting game to bring out in the world that we are currently in, the conversation about, like AGI and artificial general intelligence. You can't go like a day, maybe less so now, but over the last couple of months, you see big tech companies and people tweeting out like they think that we've achieved artificial general intelligence. And I'm like, as someone who's the company that they work for is always pushing you to use AI tools, I've seen some emails that are written by ChatGPT or Copilot. Look, I know some people are stupid, but they don't just send out emails just with stuff just made up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I think we're not getting to artificial general intelligence anytime soon, and going by the way that the AI market is sort of plummeting, I think it's a very long way off, but I think it is it'll be a very interesting game. I really like the whole capture part of it as well, because we have all been annoyed.
We have all felt
multiple
victim
times by Google's prove you're human, point out all the places on this. There's a bike, and it's okay, and then there's another one, and there's another one, to only find out later that they use that information to train their own AI. So I think it's really interesting. I'm super excited for this. And actually, we'll need to go back and finish A Thousand Times Resist. And maybe get a few more of the endings and Slay the Princess, because I've not got every one of them, but there is a lot of them. But it looks great. It looks fantastic.
And then to follow up, Prove You Human was another one that I believe you were looking forward to, Alcahest. If you want to take a look at that one.
So I can read out our blurb for it on our recap. So in the first gameplay reveal of Alcahest, the player ventures into dark caves and abandoned ruins now claimed by goblins. Exploration flows into tense encounters where combat feels physical and grounded. Kicks, finishers, and reactive environments turn every fight into controlled chaos. Destructible spaces and systemic physics blur the line between weapon and world, while alchemy adds a layer of creativity, enabling clever interactions both in battle and in traversal. I really enjoy a first-person hack and slash. I don't know if it's because I've played too much Oblivion and Skyrim in my life, and then going into things like Avowed, but a little first person, you could see your little weapons in front of your face as you run around attacking things, are my jam. I enjoy them a lot. But I thought that the vibes looked great. Just it seemed like a little bit silly, but also we're in this dark, grimy world. What's happening here? Why is there so many goblins? But I think the alchemy did add a really interesting element to it. So you can make things and enchant your sword, so you can then go and attack new goblins. If you put a kick in the game, so I can yeet enemies straight off of the side of a cliff or a ledge, then you get extra points to your game. They just like love it.
Mhm.
But yeah, just like all the animations and stuff of like making the potions or doing the alchemy sort of on the fly and then throwing the potions around to set things on fire or even just like there's one point in the trailer I think he like decapitates a goblin and
Yeah,
then
grabs its
picks up
head.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then grabs its head like straight well after decapitating it, then just throws it at another enemy, and I'm like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
hmm
like give me more. Like I think they've described it as systemic physics, but more things like that where I can interact with loads of things within the game world. I love games like that.
Kind
So
of
yeah,
create like
I'm
a kind of,
excited for that.
yeah, kind of create a snowball effect or something where like you've thrown something, you blow it up something else, it hits something and knocks something into somebody else and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
good fun.
nothing worse than when you're playing a game and there's like something there that looks like you should be able to break it and you can't.
Mm,
That's one of my pet peeves in gaming. It's like there's barrels and I can't break the barrels.
yes.
One out of 10. No
Unbreakable
points for you.
barrels.
Like
Unbreakable barrels and no treasures behind a waterfall. Cardinal sins in video
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So games where it seems like you can interact with everything, really good fun. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm excited to jump into the systems of it and see what sort of random stuff you can make with all these alchemical potions.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just go about kicking everyone off ledges. But in both scenarios, I think I'll have a lot of fun.
I think that's definitely a one up both situation with that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think we were both looking forward to our next pick, which was Castlevania Belmont's Curse,
hmm
which is an interesting one, of course, because it's a it is an indie project, technically.
hmm
It's a weird one. I know we were talking about it a bit in the Discord where, yes, of course, everyone knows Castlevania is not by any stretch of the imagination, a indie IP, but the studio, working on it, Evil Empire, uh, is, so, they've worked obviously they worked with Konami, to make, the DLC for, Dead Cells. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, so Dead Cells is one of those weird games that was developed by Motion Twin, but
Mm.
Motion Twin then went to work on something else, and Evil Empire, the
I've kind of
studio, took
taken,
it over
yeah,
to
yeah,
do an inordinate amount of DLC,
yes.
like all of which are fantastic. Dead Cells is in my top 10 games of all time. I love me some Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a comfort game. If I can't think of something to play, but I want to play something, I'm like, yeah, we'll just run some Dead Cells. Like,
Yeah.
it's great. We'll have a great time. So yeah, and the Castlevania DLC specifically is so good.
Mm. I mean,
Obviously,
yeah, speaks to the fact that they then got called back in to be like, you're heading this up. We're not doing this. We're literally
yeah,
going to give this over to you now. You make the next one.
yeah,
Um, which is very
yeah.
cool. And again, I love the fact, as is highlighted here in the description. Uh, I'll just read it up here. Um, Further exploring the game setting of 1499 Paris.
Mhm.
Uh, the studio themselves being French, I believe, and then claiming to have the audacity to then place to base the
Yeah,
game in France,
I
which I thought
love
was good,
that.
which I thought was
Yeah,
very fun.
the
Um,
the one English member of the team being like, as we are a French studio, we were arrogant enough to set our Castlevania game in France, and I was like, no, no, it's like,
yep, well played, well played.
yeah,
And I do like the art style. I really like the art style. In
it looks
particular,
great.
I was very taken with the character portraits.
Uh-huh.
They looked really, really good. And again, the combat, like with the animations and stuff like that of that art style, looks really smooth.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, just looks like another great entry in the Castlevania series. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it looked so good. I know that um again, obviously the base game for Dead Cells was developed by Motion Twin, but the everything that's been added by Evil Empire, like you cannot, if you've played Dead Cells, you can't be like even remotely concerned about how well they will be able to do a Castlevania, like a proper
mhm.
like Castlevania game, because the movement in Dead Cells is so slick. They like all of the weapons of which they have added hunters, like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many on almost egregious amount of new weapons and shields and stuff to use are all super satisfying to play.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I certainly don't have any qualms about gameplay. I think it would just be interesting to see because again, I don't know much about Dead Cells, but I know that Dead Cells, as far as the narrative is concerned, is pretty light. You have to kind of go
Yeah,
digging for it.
it's a bit more soulsy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. You kind of piece it
approach of
together and that sort of thing. It's a bit
yeah.
looser. Whilst of course Castlevania tends to be pretty heavily narrative driven, at least as the games have gone on and as into the more recent ones in particular. But think back to Symphony of the Night and that sort of thing. Um, so it'd be interesting to see how they handle that side of it. Again, I don't want to speak to Mega Crit's writing. I don't know it. So
Evil
but
Empire.
Evil Empire, sorry. Yeah, my game we're more confused now. But yeah, I don't know much about it. So again, it'd be great to see what they do. And yeah, again, big fan of Castlevania anyway. So more of that, please.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I'm excited.
yes. Then the next one on our list is another interesting one. Thick as Thieves. We saw this at the Game Awards last year, if I remember correctly. I think you mentioned that
Yes.
before we started rolling. I'm happy about to hear that. And again, I'm sure this will disappointed some, but personally, I was thrilled to hear that this game has shifted away from its PvP elements and is instead opting for simply just solo and co-op play. For those of you who don't know what Thick as Thieves is, it is a stealth action heist game set in Kilcairn, an alternate history 1910s Scottish city steeped in intrigue and rich in opportunity. Master the art of thievery through cunning gameplay in short session missions, playable solo or with a friend in co-op multiplayer. It releases on 20th of May, 2026. So again, the release date, which is great. But yeah, I think this looks really cool, very stylish, and
Yeah.
yeah, again, happy that they've moved away from that PvP side of things, just because as somebody who understands the longevity that PvP can bring to a game, I think if you are able to make a good enough game based on the mechanics, you don't need to when it's got good solo and co-op in there, like a Left 4 Dead or anything that can survive without needing to add PvP into it. And so I think hopefully a game like Thick as Thieves can do the same. Um,
Yeah.
I think a couple of people who are interested in that one. I know you were as well. Mm.
Yeah, I'm excited for this, and was excited for it before I even found out that it's apparently set in a fictional Scottish city. So I can't even just be as biased because it's Scottish. But no,
Game of the year.
I just really like stealth games, and I think that there
Yeah,
should be more of them that have fun and interesting mechanics.
yeah.
So I think over the last few showcases and things, we've seen a few new stealth games, but most of them are like obviously more into combat or like action orientated, and that you're going in to
Mm.
kill some people. And again, like I love
Not
like
a Thief-like in that respect.
yes, but I love like Aragami. Is that what it's called?
Aragami's great. I love
Yeah,
Aragami. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a fantastic set of games.
Hmm.
But I just want more stealthy games
Yeah.
where it's not just, oh, you are master assassin and you have to go around killing people, and at the end of the day, actually, if you get seen or something like that, you can still default to a sort of combat element to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought the trailer looked very fun.
Yeah.
And I do think that, you know, that it'll be very fun to play with a friend. I like there's like a bit in it, and I don't know if it's like a holdover from the fact that it used to be sort of PvP. It seemed like two people were playing at once, and one of them like activated a trap or something like that, and then the other
Hmm.
person couldn't go through, so they had to like jump out a window. So it'd be
Yes.
interesting to see that in co-op. It's like you are co-op, but at the same time you can clearly just fuck over the person that you're playing with. Just like,
Yeah.
oh no, like someone else set off the alarm, we have to leave, and it's just like, oh no, you can't go that way because I've just decided I'm gunning it. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have to find an alternate route. But yeah, I'm excited for more of these asymmetric co-op experiences.
Yeah,
just
I can imagine.
just more stealth games because they're
Yes.
fun and we should have
Yeah.
more of them. Like,
Yeah. I definitely see it being the case where like, yeah, that could either be end up being a tool for, as you say, like rage baiting friends and stuff like that, or it's just brought about through the sheer way the game is designed, hopefully with like, traps moving in levels and stuff like that. So when you revisit, you step on them again because you don't know where it is this time. And it means that you then have to resort to plan C or plan, E
yeah,
or whatever it is. Um, which is fun, having to think on the fly, which would be really
yeah.
fun. Um, Next up is Dead as Disco, which I know is another one that you are very excited for, having played it. When was it you last played it? Gamescom?
Well, yeah, I
No.
played. I got to
Yes.
play more of it at Gamescom. Yeah,
Yes.
and speak to um the developers at Brain
Mhm.
Jar Games. Um, yeah, I'm so excited for Dead as Disco. I have been excited for it since the demo came out last year.
Mhm.
But oh, again, like beat 'em up games, I feel like we don't, although we are getting more and more of them, but they seem to be more than going into the side scroller. So we've had Absalom,
Mhm.
like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games and stuff like that coming out, which are all great fun. But this is a rhythm beat 'em up where
Mhm.
you do fun combos and have to block and dodge and stuff and sync with the music, and it's just so satisfying to play. It's so satisfying to play. The music choices superb. Like,
Mhm.
so the first level or the level that you can play most of in the demo, and then with the extended demo that I played in Gamescom was like the Carpenter Brute version of Maniac, which is just a fantastic
Wow.
version of that song. Um,
Big Carpenter Brute fan, so
yeah.
that's insane.
And it's just such a good, uh, like every, like it's so satisfying. Like all of your attacks feel super weighty. There's like combos you can do. You have to dodge certain things correctly, or else you're going to go down. I think when I played the demo at Gamescom, because I'd played the demo before, there was lots of PCs sort of set up to play it,
Mm.
and when I was talking to the dev, he was watching me play and we were having a conversation at the same time. But there's a bit where you're basically in a subway, and he was like, "Oh, I can see that you've played the demo because every single person that has played this today has been hit by that train." Apart from you. And I was like, yeah, because
Oh,
I've been hit by that train before. Like,
I've been here
um,
before.
yeah, you have to like jump around. But I also really well at the one at Gamescom you could play early parts of some of the different levels. So each level there's different idols. So each level has its own theme in terms of the music choices. So there's like metal and there's like more like rock tracks and things, and I think there's even like K-pop, I believe. Like there's like really just fun ways. The
Mm.
visuals outstanding. Like, there's like bits where like gravity shifts and things like that in one of the levels, and I was just like, oh wow, like this is very confusing
Yeah.
but also fantastic. But I also like the fact that they have added a function where you can play your own music, so
Mm.
there's like an endless mode where you go in and just fight loads of enemies one after the other, and I assume that's where you put your My Music mode on, so you could like upload your favorite playlist, like your favorite running playlist, and
That'd
then
be so
just be
much
like,
fun.
let's go. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Hmm.
5th of May early access. Um, I think
Yeah, and
the
interesting that it's
Jar
going into
Games
early
they're
access.
lovely. They're lovely guys, and like I hope it does as well as the demo's been doing. So yeah,
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting it's going to early access, I thought. But yeah, yeah. Um, Looking forward to seeing that. And as you say, more beat 'em ups, more 3D beat 'em ups. Definitely.
yeah.
Let's see more of that. Uh, Valor Mortis is the next one on our list here to highlight.
Hmm.
Again, another one that I believe we saw first at the Game Awards last year.
There's too many
Uh,
showcases. I wouldn't even remotely be able to tell you the first time we saw it.
and again, this comes from another dev that we are fans of here. And I know that Adam in particular is very excited for this one, although a bunch of us
Yeah,
are.
it's one more level. The people behind Ghost Runner.
That's the one. Yes. Um, Looks super cool. again, this was a release window announcement, launching in fall of 2026, coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles. Um, and the trailer showing off whole new elements like new weapons, new boss, parkour mechanics. Um, of course, which makes complete sense with the Ghost Runner lineage.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really cool idea. Again, if you haven't seen this before, it's sort of a Napoleonic era first person Souls-like, really visceral, really cool looking, very like again great visual art direction and stuff like that. The first boss you see is sort of again I think a lot of people made the comparison to being like, oh, he's got like multiple arms going on. He's very much like uh what's his name? The
Godric?
Grafted from yes,
Godric
Godric the
the Grafted?
Grafted.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And things like that with like but he's holding like if I remember correctly, he's like holding a cutlass in one hand, but then he's got like a cannon or something in the other and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It looks great. So that looks super cool. And again, good to get that launch window. Um, you know, nice to know it's coming out this year, at least something else to look forward to.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't have to maybe Summer Games Fest, maybe we'll get a release date. Or, we'll see. Um, and then next one after that was, let me go to my list here.
There's so many good ones.
Well, that's it. I mean, we've skipped so many. That's it. Not even on the list. Long gone. That pixelated, the pixel art zombie game, which is much more like it's sort of. It looks like The Last of Us, but it's not about combat. It's like puzzle solving. It's like a point and click game.
Yeah. Mhm.
Love that. Love the looks of that. But that was like a. Again, we've seen that in several shows. They showed off the new Temtem game. There's,
Mhm.
gosh, DLC for so many of these. Far Far West and during early access on April 28th. They announced Graveyard Keeper 2, which
Yeah.
the first one's currently, I believe, free on Steam.
Mhm.
And that brings us to the next one we wanted to highlight, which was We Were Here Tomorrow, of
Mhm.
course, which is a part of the We Were Here series. And I know we were, again, talking just before we started rolling about this and saying that neither one of us have actually played this series, but
No.
it looks great fun, this one. And I know that all the others have been received very well. So
Mhm.
this is one I would definitely be up for trying out. And there's a Steam demo now available. Um,
Only for a week. So it is a
yeah,
limited Steam demo. So if you want to play it, you have to play it this week.
mm, mm. Maybe try and sneak that in before we go to London Games Festival. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
If we have time.
if we have time, so much to do. Uh,
Um,
um, but yes, I thought that looked really cool. And again, it's a series that I would like to try and get into. Whether or not you actually need to play them in order or anything like that, I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's more just they are, asymmetric co-op puzzle games, which I like a lot. So I think um we've played a few. The last one maybe being that oh, something submarine, Lost Submarine. Can't
Okay.
remember the name of it. How to
Yeah.
Escape, like
Oh
Lost Submarine,
yes, yes,
where one person
yes.
plays on a phone and the other
Hmm.
person plays on console or PC,
That's
which
right.
was very fun because you
Yes.
have to like communicate with each other, which is especially interesting when you're like not in the same room. So
Yes.
it's just like it's like, what do you see? Explain it to me. And it's
Mm,
like and there was like a maze I think we had to go through, which was good fun. But
yeah.
yeah, we played that together. I've played some of the and again a lot of them are escape room games where you're playing in co-op with other people and you're having to figure stuff out. But love a little co-op game, love a puzzle game, and I really like the idea is like you see other things than your partner when you're playing with them. So
Hmm.
like there's going to be moments where you're just like, it's this, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
What
no,
are
it's
you
on it,
talking?
it's definitely this. Just like
Are you
I
going
don't
mad?
yeah, I don't think it'll be like rage bait in the slightest,
No, no,
but
no, no.
yeah, definitely one to test out your communication skills.
Yeah.
To be
Very
like,
much a Portal 2, more of the Portal 2 school of
yeah,
asymmetric than one that's meant to, as you say, rage bait or anything like that.
yeah,
Um,
you would be like, I need you to stand exactly here till I
mm.
do a thing, and and then just get rid of the platform underneath them, as everyone has done when they're playing Portal 2 with someone. Like we've all done it. It wasn't just me. We've
Yeah,
definitely all done it.
you're all
Like,
guilty.
yeah,
Um, But
But
yes,
yeah, it looks super fun, and I'd be really interested in playing through the series.
yeah,
And the run up
absolutely.
to this one coming out later on this year,
Yeah,
because I think it's sometime 2026 it's supposed to come out.
yes, yeah. So yeah, we've got some time, and I don't think they're particularly long games. So
Mm-mm.
who knows? Maybe we'll see that on the channel.
Yeah,
Right, getting close to the end of the list now, because there weren't again. There was a lot of them. Uh,
yep.
but the
We can't
next one
talk about them all.
the next one I wanted to highlight is The Lift, which comes with the subheading of Supernatural Handyman Simulator. Um, yeah, this one caught my eye immediately, and I'm glad it did because then when reading up on it, I was like, "Oh, cool! They're highlighting things like the SCP Foundation as like a
Mhm.
source of inspiration for this game, which is a website all about kind of like it's all made up stories about like creatures and events and stuff like that have been contained in this secret government facility. Great fun, sort of very Control if you
Yeah.
know the series again, and again being one of my favorite games, taps into that energy again, and I'm just like love it. Basic premise here is uh, The Lift is an eerie, story-driven handyman simulator in which you renovate and explore a massive research facility abandoned after a mysterious incident. Set in a highly interactive world inspired by Soviet science fiction, The Lift puts a surreal twist on the handyman gameplay formula, tasking players with a wide range of jobs from vacuuming reality-distorting anomalies and collecting fuel from robotic bees to reviving the interdimensional satellite dishes and repairing sentient reactors. It is aiming to release in 2027. And yeah, the trailer was also to announce that it's also coming to console. So it's going to be coming to
Mhm.
Steam, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S in 2027. Looks super cool. And it kind of, again, it gave me the same energy as I said of something like Control, dealing with like paranatural things like cosmic entities and or
Yeah.
energies and things like that. So it's sort of like looking at that and thinking like, this is almost what I would have preferred. And again, I hate saying this because again, I've loved everything they've done, but it is the thing I feel like I think back to that F FBC Firebreak, the
Yeah.
first person like trio team based extraction game that they did. And it's like it's a cool premise, but I almost would have preferred if they gone with the approach of like you go in as a team to repair stuff, and it's all like dealing
Yeah.
with like the crazy anomalies going on, but it's not so combat driven. It's far more about like as you said, like asymmetric gameplay between maybe
Yeah.
people as a team or something like that, trying to like get the generator running. Like you've got to run on the treadmill like you're on a mouse wheel, but whilst somebody
Mhm.
else has to like flick switches at the right time in an order or something. I kind of would have preferred that kind of wackiness over hordes of just enemies and having to like repair stuff slowly using like the
Mhm.
wrench to whack it and things like that. It's just like, this feels like it would have been closer to the energy of a Remedy title in that respect. And so
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for that. And yeah, visuals look really cool. I love the art direction with it. Um, Retro futuristic kind of art style. Uh, yeah, definitely stood out to me as a definitely want to keep an eye out for. It's a long ways off, but always nice to have something to look forward to on the horizon.
Yeah. I am a big fan of like so I've not played anything. I've not played like Power Wash Simulator and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I am a big fan of like almost mundane
Mm,
task simulator, but in
yes.
like a fantastical environment. So like Viscera cleanup detail or
Hmm.
Hard Space Shipbreaker. This
Yes.
is like you are doing something that is generally just standard day-to-day work that people would do, but
Mm.
you're somewhere that you definitely should be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. Absolutely.
um,
It's why I'm
mm,
like, it's why I like the looks of that Kaiju cleanup game. I think that looks really
yeah,
fun.
mhm,
And they had a very funny April Fools actually, where they changed it, where they're like, oh, if you don't like gore, we've changed it now, so you're actually doing it with like giant vegetables. It was very funny. Um, um,
mhm.
but yeah, like yeah, Kaiju cleanup is one that definitely ticks that sort of box for me, as well as it's sort of as you say, they even highlight I think on the Steam page for the lift of like it's got like house flipper energy.
Yeah,
You're redoing this place so that it's all working as it should be and stuff like that. Although in
yeah,
this, you're working towards uncovering like what happened and stuff. Um,
yeah. I
the
played
facility.
a. I'm sorry. I
No,
just
no, no,
cut you
go.
off. No, I played a game, was it last year? It must have been last year. It couldn't possibly have been this year. Um called oh Rusty's Rocket Shop. Was that what it was called?
Yes, I
Uh
think yeah, that sounds familiar. I think that was last year.
no, Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop.
Yeah.
And you're like a weird little three-eyed fox guy. Um, and you're fixing modules on spaceships that come into your yard. Again,
Mm,
it's like roguelike thing, but it comes with a manual, and I love a game with a manual.
mm.
I'm like, make me read things. People are playing video games for their escapism, and I'm like, no, give me a manual and a job to do. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Like,
Let me type out some stuff and then read about
yeah.
it.
But I love games like that where you are doing weird little tasks. So
Mm,
yeah, you're like you have a wrench, you have a screwdriver, you're doing things in the game that are not going to be related to anything actually that you would do in real life. Like this game is not going to teach me how to fix a lift.
no.
But like I find those gameplay mechanics super satisfying. So and especially like as you say, if you're doing it to figure out what's going on in this Soviet science fiction story, which also fantastic. The Soviet aesthetic is so
Mhm.
good for that sort of thing. Yeah, I think it'll be a good one.
Yeah, I completely agree. Matches it up perfectly, aesthetics wise and everything. Yeah. Um, right. And then to close out our list, not quite the show, uh, but it is also a nice, as I said, sort of a circle back to the beginning, which is Neverway.
Mhm.
Neverway giving us the release window of October, and then also shadow dropping for the public, of course, the prologue demo on
Mhm.
Steam, which is really cool. And the exciting thing is that uh, I got to get hands-on with the prologue early for a good 2 weeks or so, and I've got my preview up. You can check on the site. Um, I had one of the strangest experiences previewing this game, which V can attest to, um, as I tried to explain to her what I had experienced, and thus how I was going to try and translate this into some sort of preview demo impressions
I
thing.
think you had a bit of an existential crisis, to be
I,
perfectly
I, I
honest.
think I still am to a certain degree. Um, it's a fascinating intro to this game. Again, if people aren't aware, very quickly, uh, after quitting her dead end job, Fiona starts over on a farm and becomes the immortal herald of a dead god. Make friends, fight through horrors, and pay your debt in this nightmarish life sim RPG. Co-directed by the pixel artists of Celeste and with music by Disaster Piece. Uh, this is being made by Cold Blood Inc. And it is a bit of a supergroup of indie talents with this one. They've pulled in the sound designer behind games like Dome Keeper. Disaster Piece is probably my favorite video game composer. Their work goes back as far as Fez, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And ever since then, I have absolutely adored their work. I listen to their two tracks, Home and Glitch, almost every single day. I adore them. And yeah, to hear their work in this throughout was just sensational. Like genuinely, like the moody, like synthy chiptune effect that he created. That, as I say in my preview, that music from the beginning is what brings about the existential dread that that game genuinely does draw out in me, and it was through the music, the setting, the visuals of it, the incredible like single color monochromatic palettes they use, like purples, mix them with like sharp shocks of teal if for like Fiona's eyes or like catching light in her hair and things like that. It is a beautiful game in so many ways, but it is also so weird and unsettling. And I'll tell you right now, I basically ended up only writing a preview that covered half what I could play, and the reason behind that is because of not being sure whether or not I could actually write about the rest of it or not because of how it was delivered. A little bit of background, which I'm sure people won't mind now, that's all out there. I was told to play the prologue and cover the prologue for this preview. When playing it, you start and it's in the prologue, and then you stop the prologue at a certain point and it tells you like, thanks for playing, please wishlist the game, da 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 da, as you would, then returns you to the game's title screen. You can then go back onto the save slot screen to find a second save slot that starts up a whole different run involving a whole bunch of other content that people have got access to. It's all part of the demo and was part of the preview. But because it wasn't labeled under the prologue, I thought maybe this was something I was privy to that I just wasn't meant to write about yet, and thus maybe it erred on the wrong side of caution, as it were, and chose not to write about it, but implied that there's more to discover. And it rocked me. It threw me just to be like, I don't know how to approach this now. This is such a like deeply interesting and like subversive game. And I don't know if this is how it's meant to play out entirely, or if this second file is meant to give you like a sneak peek towards things in the future. It's incredible. Like it really is. And the interesting way, like you mentioned earlier about when talking about games like oh, what was it we were just mentioning? When talking about sort of narrative woven, Thousand Times Resist and games like
Yeah.
that. Neverway strikes me as another one of those sorts of games where, because of the life sim elements and stuff like that, but also the themes clearly going on with Fiona as a character, someone who's clearly struggling with depression and kind of basically going through like some sort of like shift in reality. It's again, I go into it more in my preview, but like her moving away to start life on a farm is very much a big quote in quotations statement that the blurb does not make clear, and quite possibly purposefully. And it is really interesting to see how that all kind of like unfolds. And yeah, it's easily shot up to being one of the games I'm most excited for. It's this and probably Control Resonant are like my two now most anticipated games for this year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And if they come out like close to each other, that's going to really suck. But I'll take it if I have to.
Oh no,
I, re
my
I really hope they
my
don't.
lobster's too buttery, my steak is too juicy. Oh no.
But yeah, I will say that that has absolutely been one of the highlights of my year thus far, is being able to get hands on with Neverwhere early. Being able to hear Starspeed's music and looking at that beautiful pixel art. And shout out to the uh, sound designer as well, Martin Kvale, I think their name is, of Fail. Let me find it quickly. I apologize for butchering it. I will make sure I get it correct. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Where are you, sir? Martin Cavell,
Mhm.
it is correct, did the sound design, and it is just some of the most tactile and satisfying sound design I've heard in a game. It's wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. So yeah, please go and check out the demo for uh, Neverway. I think it's going to be something really, really special. Um, yeah, super, super excited for that. Right. I think that is the last one on our list, unless you want to chuck anything else in there, V.
No, I think that's everything. There was a game called Final Sentence that I will just highlight incredibly quickly. We have covered it in the demo disc, and the only reason
Mhm.
we talk about it is the fact there's another game where you have to type things. It's a battle royale, but you have to touch type fast enough, or
Amazing.
else you get shot in the face. And it's just more typing games. Give me what I want.
Hyping
Just
game.
weird little guys. Like I love a weird little guy.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Well, we'll stick that on there. I'll add that trailer in as well so people can check that out. See what they think of that. But yeah, that has been our highlights, our picks from the Triple I Initiative showcase. Frankly, it's hard to made our picks, I feel, because there is so many
Yeah,
good. This is one of those showcases where it's like, not only is it, I think, produced very well, and it's like, this is how we want a showcase to be handled
yeah,
and delivered and all the rest of it, but also just the quality, the variety, the types of announcements. Like it hits on every single note, it feels like, every year. Um,
yeah.
big,
You're going to
big, big.
find something that appeals. There's such a good variety of
Hmm.
games and a variety of genres. Um, they all seem super polished.
Yeah.
Um, and just I mean, we didn't even talk about the Cairn DLC, like which
No.
is coming out.
The new
Two,
Don't
I
Starve
believe.
game, Don't
Yeah.
Starve Elsewhere, that's been announced. There's
Yeah, the Undertale Rift of the Necrodancer crossover. There's so many things here.
we forgot that Alabaster Dawn is going to early access in May 7th. The game that both you and I are very excited for.
Oh yeah, there's just because there's too many. There's too
There's
many
too
good games.
many.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, there's just loads of like little expansions. There's like these little co-op games that seem super chill, like sledding game,
Yep.
survival games. Just like fantastic. Everything just looked great.
That
Um,
pirate game Windrose looked really cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I hate boats, so I'm probably not going to play it. But if you want a fun looking pirate game, it looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just loads and loads of variety. So
Mm.
you're not gonna. I don't think there's a lot of people that would watch through the whole thing and not see something that appeals. So I think, definitely, I mean, bloody Risk of Rain 2, like DLC, like all the good stuff is
All the
all
good stuff.
there. You should go and watch it. Or if you don't want to watch it, you just want to go through a list to see what appeals to you. We do have a full recap on the website.
Yeah. It's all there. So yeah, with that, let's go into our final segment as always, which is what we are looking forward to. I'm going to say that I'm looking forward to checking out the We Were Here Tomorrow demo, since that's only available for the next week, and I'm going to try and make sure I get to see that. It looks
This means
great.
I'm going to be wrangled into something. This means that I am once again getting no sleep. Like sleep is something for other people. It's not
Sleep is
for
for the
me.
weak.
Yeah.
But no,
No, I'm excited for that too.
I can find someone else. I'm sure I can find someone else if need
I
be.
don't know. I want to play it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, definitely want to check that out. And then yeah, what would be what we are looking forward to? Then,
So I'm looking forward to Gecko Gods.
of course, yes.
Which is coming out. I feel like I should know the exact date that's coming out, but I can't remember.
Soon, isn't it? It's about a week or so, I
Yeah,
believe.
16th of April, Gecko Gods.
That's
is
a busy.
coming
That's a
out.
busy day.
Yeah, so there's a very busy day. But yeah, it's like a little puzzle adventure game where you play a little gecko, obviously, going through just gorgeous art style, gorgeous environments. And we did cover the demo, I think, for the demo discs. And one of the best things about it is talking about sound design for Neverway, but obviously you're a small gecko. Let me play also, if you let me play a small creature, I'm just gonna be excited for your game. But you're like a little tiny
Yeah.
gecko. And your feet make the best noises ever. It changes depending what you're walking on. So you're just like, bloop, bloop, bloop. But if you're on something like grass and stuff like that, it makes different noises. And I'm like, this is the attention to detail that I want in a game where you are a tiny gecko. So I'm excited for that.
No, it looks great. That's another one I'm looking forward to as well. But yeah, as you say, so many games. We've talked about 20 games in this episode alone. And that's not even half of what was shown up at the showcase.
Yeah, my backlog, it looks at me and it goes, "What are you doing? What?
Control yourself.
Stop adding things to your wish list. Like, stop adding things to your 219 game wish list. Like,
there's some good numbers. We like that. Right. I think that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Thank you very much for joining me today. This has been great fun as always. And thank you all, of course, at home or wherever you are for watching or listening. Again, if you enjoyed today's episode, please drop a like. If you have any questions for us, if you want to share which of your highlights are from the Triple I Initiative Showcase, drop them below. And again, if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Anything we've mentioned article-wise will also drop in the description. And one of the things I should make sure I do, because I'm meant to do this every time, is mention which games we are or have reviewed, which is a fair few. We've got reviews up for
so many games.
So many games. I can't even remember when was the last time I would have said when we've been reviewing stuff. So we've got reviews for, let's start here. We've got The Posthumous Investigation, Hosey, Fishbowl, Legacy of Kain Ascendance, Life is Strange Reunion, Grind 2, Darwin's Paradox, Crimson Desert, The Occultist, People of Note. That's something else I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
The House of Higma, Power Wash Simulator 2, Adventure Time DLC, and High Above. And that's only from like the last week or 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But how many, Dano said how many we'd reviewed this year so far.
60. Well, he said 63, and then immediately someone submitted in another review. So we've in the 100 days of the year, we have published 64 reviews.
Wow. That's nearly 2/3.
Yeah. Basically, yeah,
Wow.
like 2/3.
Go us.
So no wonder. No wonder I've not had any time to read any of the books that I have bought.
You have books? Oh, man.
I have books. I don't have time to read them because I have all these reviews.
Well, actually, I have actually started reading something, and I'll do a quick shout out now since we're at that point. I'm reading Kez McDonald's book, Super Nintendo. Just started that today. Really enjoying that. So yeah, shout out to her. She does great stuff. The industry. But yeah, really enjoying that one. So I'm trying my best to read.
Yeah, I've got loads of books here. I've not started any of them. I'm not going to shout any of them out.
No, we'll leave it for another episode. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Again, as always, this has been us. We've been the Gamer Social Club team. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Play some great games, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.